have a secret bracket right here that I'll show you. You saw the thumbnail. So in this video, we're going to go over just the prepping, what I decided on this cage, how far forward. It's different than any other plane out there that I know of. And if yours is like this, comment. I would love to know. We'll address what I'm doing to the cage and why I made this little secret bracket. So stick around. Well, I hope I can explain this right, but from past videos I told you that Zenith sent me a different doubler bracket on the roof here, a top doubler, and it put my cage forward that far. So there was either, I don't know exactly what they were doing. They said that the hole that they drilled in this cage was the wrong spot, and I guess the quick fix was to make a different bracket. So this is the bracket that I built out of the old strut from the wing strut that I damaged. And if you want to know more about that, you can find it in back videos. But I took that piece, made it exactly 90 degrees because it appears to be 90 degrees to the bottom of the wing. And the back strut is angled. So I fastened this on there and scribed that angle on there, and then added the length of this. So when I install it, the incident angle with that center, just about in the center, is almost exactly 3 degrees, I believe. Well, I haven't got that finished, but this is what gave me the confidence to go ahead and have this gap back here and move the cage forward that 3/8 of an inch, a little over, and I'm gonna go with that setup. So we're going to have our wing bolted in the front of this back ear, the elephant ear everybody's calling it. That said, that was very nerve-wracking trying to come up with something different and going far enough to think that, you know, you might be doing something totally wrong. That puts the firewall top forward just a hair. I haven't assembled the skin over that, but I see that it's going to be drilled into the firewall, so that little bit of firewall distance is not going to change anything, and it likes to hinge there. So far this is working out. I'm really not sure what order works the best. I tried to think it through a few times, but I couldn't come up with any logic that made a huge difference. So what I did is I've got this one all prepped. I hooked it up to it, and I am doing the most important bracket to me second. So I'm going to put, I want that baby right where where it wants to be once it's all clecoed in. So my logic was to go ahead and do the side holes, all of them, up drill them, and then I'm going to install this bracket with the bottom hole first, a washer and a castle nut on there. Okay, and I got my first hole in there. I'm going to cleco that up and get drilling. And that holds it exactly where I wanted it. Double check that it's flush back here and tight. Kind of an important bracket. It's hidden behind everything, so it doesn't have to be pretty. It has to be corrosion resistant, but now the fun part's going to be trying to denib that steel hole in the tube from the front, because there's no getting at it from behind. So I got some idea. I'm going to use one of those rotation tools. I won't film that. Good luck denibbing. All the stuff that goes through our heads with this new bracket and all, the first rivet is out about 3/8 from where it's riveted to the airplane. 3/8 further, so the aluminum does move up and down a little bit more than it probably did when it was riveted completely back there. Just thoughts. Just thoughts. This has been okayed by the company. The only other thing is I've got to come up with something to close off that air gap between that and this big ear. I'll probably make a little piece of something that fits in the tube there, in the center of the tube. Yeah, we'll go over that and what I come up with later. All right, we got them all hooked up and clecoed in place. That side I had to grind the weld just a little bit and change the bottom radius just a little bit to get it to fit better. And we got it all bolted up and it's fitting good. So as soon as I get this all denibbed next, we can get the paint on it and get those brackets attached. And then we'll get... Well, that was fun. It's always fun getting something done, except I've still got to manufacture something to take up that gap. You guys got anything, any suggestions, leave it in the comments down below. But that's fun. But what about this? I've already done a couple back here, and that one really stretches my neck. So I got to figure out a way to get in here so I can drill those out, you know, getting Charlie horses everywhere. Because that's going to be the theme when it comes to working inside of this thing. They could have pre-drilled these. It wouldn't hurt my feelings. Well, that's stronger than I thought it was going to be. Just with a couple of clecos in there. A4s. That's what it calls for. Gonna have a lot of holes in that bar up there. Must not weaken it that much. Probably doesn't do a whole lot when the wing hooks out here and into the back. This causes, it's like a separator. What worked out good about having this up here flush was there's a second layer underneath here. So I had to notch that little corner on both ends so it would lay up there. I couldn't quite get that up in the center until I ground that out. Instead of taking some off of here, it was easier just to do the aluminum. But now that it's all clecoed, up-drilled in place, the brackets are all fit, I'm thinking about building a gusset in here. At least it'll be a doubler at minimum, so that it'll reinforce this all-important aluminum bracket, and it'll attach it to the side with 2 extra rivets. These will be normal, and I'm going to put that bracket down to here and to here, if you can see that. Anyway, I'll get the paper and start designing it up, and we'll go from there. Well, there's the bracket. Now I just got to see if I can match drill it without actually drilling through anything. I'll mark it and see if I can't. Be interesting to see if the nut will screw on, because of the thickness of the bracket back there. Stay tuned. The washer is hitting in the radius of the angle bracket. It's sitting nice and flush against the outside and inside. Could go with radiusing the edge of the washer or using a thinner material. I don't want to use a thinner material. Okay, that took a lot longer to get to that point where I decided not to do that, because I don't want to radius the edge of a washer. It's just, to me, I'm not going to do that. So, but I did come up with another way. If I make another angle that comes back and then straight off of the bolt, close to the bolt as possible, within a couple millimeters, angle back and bolt to here on this bracket, that's going to give me a lot of support up and down on rotation. And this piece is the side support, and it uses all of its strength in the middle mainly, and that will actually help tie this piece in to the upper bracket. So I like that even better. And that sometimes you got to go through thinking through something, I guess, to be able to figure out that you're not going to do it, and you might have a better idea. So I'm going to mock that up. That'll give me a flat washer here. I could even bolt it here instead of riveting it, which I like that idea also. All right, let's get to that part. I'll edit that way back so that you don't have to waste your time like I did and come up with that it's not going to work, because the metal's so thick that once you fill the backside of the angle, there's not enough room. The bolt and the nut's enough room, but the washer fits up in the radius of the piece, and it doesn't fit right. It sits on an angle. So I like this idea. I could come up, this could be actual steel strapping. I think I have some of that stuff. Now I like this a lot better. It isn't 90 degrees, but it does go really close to where the washer sets. It goes straight down to the other bolt. And I can have a washer on that, and it won't interfere. And this will tie this into here really well. Now the question is, do we want to rivet that, or do I want to bolt it? All right, now that I've got it fitting really well and the angle's really good, I'm going to bolt it up, and I'm going to sit back and I'm going to think about it. Because I don't want to drill a hole if something ain't going to work. And I've already softened all the edges so that it can't hurt the aluminum that I'm tightening down, snugging it to. It will keep this joint, that joint right there, from wanting to roll in flight. It'll slow that down. The pitching up, rolling down, it won't stop, but it'll help support this longeron to the point where it isn't just sheet metal between the two, or sheet aluminum between the two. That's what I'm thinking. I do realize that I am shutting off a channel for wiring to go through, but I think this is more important. So my wiring and everything is probably going to go up through the center channel. Well, I decided to go with a bolt. Plenty of room back there for washers and nuts. And okay, I'm going to do this one off camera for the others, for the left side there, and going to get this sanded as soon as it's got all the holes for the doors up there drilled. I'm not going to be drilling the window until it's all bolted in and riveted in. After the inside's all primed and painted, they're primed, but once they get painted, and any metal shavings that get in here, there's a little gap down here, will fall out. I'm not worried about that at all. And if anything, I'll spray a little bit of undercoat inside there to stop them from rattling around. Hey, thanks for sticking around. Hope if you were at Oshkosh and seeing this after you get back, hope you had a great time. So we'll see you in the next one.